It shouldn't really come as a surprise anymore what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Of course, we're talking transfer news. There is a lot going on at Wrexham Football Club. Possible incomings, possible outgoings. Parky has had his say on a couple of signings and the Wrexham's stance in the transfer window going into this season's championship campaign. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about in today's video. If you'd like to see more Wrexham content, I say it every video, coming your way, make sure to get down there and click the red subscribe button. It's free to do so. There'll be plenty of content coming out in the next couple of weeks. So like I said, this is your home for the best Wrexham content. And make sure you click the notification bell so you are notified every time a new video does come your way. Let's go for 500 likes, and without further ado, let's get talking transfer news. So talking first on Sivert Mannsverk. Now it looks as if Mannsverk will not be joining Wrexham Football Club following the signing of Lewis O'Brien and a player that we have been rumoured with, which I'm going to be talking about later in the video. Now, a couple of weeks ago, Wrexham were in talks to sign the Ajax midfielder just 11 days ago, but it seems like there's been no real update since. It seems like the deal hasn't progressed any further. Parky might have opted for another option in Lewis O'Brien or the player that we're going to be talking about, or they might have failed to agree on a fee, personal terms, etc. We really don't know, but I'm sure Parky had a long list of players that he did want to bring in that midfield department, and I don't think it would have been a real surprise to see him in talks with a lot of different midfielders. I think he was definitely an option. I think there was concrete interest in Sivert Mannsverk, but again, it looks as if we're going to opt for another option. Now, I did kind of like the idea of Mannsverk, 23 years old. He's still got a lot of experience under his belt despite his age, and he's probably one of those players that would have excelled in this Wrexham group. Young, like I said, but has that championship experience under his belt last season for Cardiff City. But at the end of the day, there's a reason why Parky is in the dugout and why Parky makes the signings and I don't. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Would you have taken Sivert Mannsverk at Wrexham? Are you happy to see the deal's not really going to progress any further? Again, 23 years old, it was worth a punt. I think he obviously has had some quality there. Being an Ajax midfielder playing in the championship, his quality was shown for Mulder when he did win a lot of trophies there at a very young age. But again, it looks like this deal is completely off. Talking next on Christian Eriksen. Now, Parky has confirmed in an interview that the potential signing of former Manchester United and Spurs midfielder Christian Eriksen has not gone any further. He said there was a call, a bit of dialogue over the summer, but it's not gone any further than that. And I think we all know it. It would have been a ridiculous signing for a championship team. Alone, likes of Sheffield United, Leicester City, it would have still been a great signing. But for Wrexham, a newly promoted side from League One, it would have just blown everyone's minds, and I think it would have been a crazy signing, like I said, if we were to get it across the line. But I think this really does highlight sort of the ambition that we do have and the type of calibre of players that Wrexham do want to bring into the project. I think it does just show we are being serious about getting out of the Championship this season and getting to the Premier League at the first time of asking. And I think as well, Wrexham fans will have no complaints over Christian Eriksen rejecting this. He'll be looking to get the best possible move ahead of next year's World Cup in the USA, Canada, etc. And I think getting that Championship move wouldn't really have suited him, I suppose, if he's got offers from, you know, some big countries across all of the European leagues. And I've got it in my notes here. I think he showed last season and just over the past few seasons that he still can play in the Premier League and probably most top leagues in the world. So it would have definitely been a ridiculous signing, an outlandish one, but it was always worth a phone call from Phil Parkinson. If you don't ask, you don't get. But again, Christian Eriksen, he's a player that's had a ridiculous career, won multiple trophies, you know, Champions League experience here and there, experience in Italy, England, etc. So it would have been a really good signing. Obviously 33 years old. Yes, you can say he's injury prone, but having a player of his quality experience around the squad would have just been massive for us. But again, wages would have been a big issue, and if we are still to go in for him, you're looking at probably six-figure wages per week for him. Wales and Sheffield United striker Kieffer Moore looks to be the next striker through the door at Wrexham Football Club. We've apparently agreed a fee for the 32-year-old Welsh striker, but there's a bit of confusion amongst some sources. Now, some sources are saying the fee for Kieffer Moore is in the region of £4 million, where others are saying it's significantly lower, under 2 million. So we don't know the price tag yet that's been put on Kieffer Moore, but I think what we do know is in a couple of weeks' time, maybe a couple of days' time, he is going to be in a Wrexham shirt and he is going to be the next striker through the door alongside Josh Windass and Ryan Hardy. And I think as well, we'll get talking about it in a minute, it's a signing that already has sort of caused some debate amongst Wrexham fans on social media, and the possible signing of Kieffer Moore has got mixed opinions, and I think it's maybe because of the price tag that has been put on him, you know, for the £4 million at 32 years old, and maybe he hasn't scored all too many goals over the past few seasons. But again, the judgment that a lot of people are making is for his spell at Sheffield United, and if your career is going going to be based off one spell he's had last season where he played 30 games and scored 6 goals in a team that was pushing at the top end of the championship, then it's not really too fair. I think if you're just looking at that one season and completely forgetting the good seasons he's had previously, then again, I just don't think it's a fair judgment for Kieffer Moore. It's probably not the season he wanted at Sheffield United, but he's got some great goal scoring seasons at the past, and with him being Welsh, he's going to know about the story of Wrexham very well and what it means to the fans. And you're looking at a player as well in Kieffer Moore that will put his body on the line. The amount of times we've watched him for Wales where he's had to have bandages around his head, a cut eye, a cut face, you know, he will put his body on the line for the club. And I think the story of Wrexham, of course, him being a Welsh international, coming into the club like Danny Ward, they're going to understand the passion, and I can imagine he's going to be a player that's going to give 110% whenever he does play, and he will play for that badge on his shirt. And I think, you know, the type of striker he is, it's going to be a good deal. Now, if we're talking more on the deal, if it's going to be £4 million, would I be slightly disappointed? I don't really know, because yeah, £4 million for a striker is a lot. At 33 years old, he's turning 33 in a couple of weeks, and yes, he might not have scored all the goals in the world, but if it's below £2 million, I will have no complaints at all. He's a real nuisance up front, 6'5", so he's going to be great from set pieces, holding the ball up. And like I said, whenever I have watched Kieffer Moore for Wales, and I'm sure a lot of Wales fans can agree, he has been a handful when he's played for us. Again, he might not be that goal scoring striker, but I can imagine if you put Kieffer Moore up front with a striker that's going to make those runs in behind, get on the flick-ons, he's going to register a few assists. And I think whoever's alongside him, if he can find that right calibre of player and profile of player to play alongside Kieffer Moore, I think you're going to get the best out of him in a Wrexham shirt. And as well, another interesting point on this topic is the fact that Wrexham are reportedly looking to offer him a better financial package to get him at the football club. Wrexham are set to offer more wages than what Sheffield United are currently paying him. So it seems as if Phil Parkinson is going all out for Kieffer Moore. He is the striker he wants into the club. We've seen him do a BBC Sport interview today saying there's a couple of deals they're working on behind the scenes, and they're far from where they want to be in terms of squad wise and squad quality. So I think, like I said, the calibre and the quality and the experience that Kieffer Moore does have at the Premier League, Championship, League One is going to be a real coup for us. And I think, like I said, £4 million, there's going to be people moaning, but at the end of the day, like I said, it's Phil Parkinson's decision. If he thinks he can come into this squad and, you know, improve on what we've already got, and I think he will do that, he's probably that type of Ollie Palmer player, probably an Ollie Palmer replacement. He's going to be that target man up front. I'm going to have no complaints at all, and if we can get the best out of him, he's going to score goals in a Wrexham shirt. Talking next now on a really crazy and just unexpected bit of business. Like Kieffer Moore, it looks as if a deal is going to be sealed for Tierres midfielder Juan Camilo Portilla in a deal worth £4 million. I've probably butchered every single name in his name, but again, it seems like another midfielder is set to come through the door at Wrexham Football Club in the next coming days. Now, this is a really interesting situation. I think it's a midfielder that is destined to join Wrexham Football Club, having heard the words from his manager Carlos Tevez and the situation regarding the last game they played. Now, Portilla is a 26-year-old Colombian midfielder who has played his football up in Colombia until 2024 before making the move to Argentinian side Tierres, making 68 appearances across 2 seasons, becoming an ever-present in that midfield as they've had a couple of good finishes since obviously Portilla has joined the club, and his performances have also earned him a call-up and regular call-ups to the Colombian national team. He's made 3 appearances for them in World Cup qualifiers, so I think, you know, you're looking at this 2024 onwards is when he really cracked on as a player and really sort of made a name for himself in Argentina. He adapted to the league really well, and he put in some really good performances, of course, earning him a call-up, which again I think speaks for itself. And he's Colombian, you already know what he's going to bring to this midfield. He's not going to be afraid to get stuck in. 58.8% of duels won, 18 interceptions, 20 aerial duels won, 61 ball recoveries last season in the Argentinian First Division. For £4 million and at 26 years old, this could be a big bargain for Wrexham Football Club. And I think he's going to be a player that is going to have that quality to jump straight into that midfield. Whether the deal's done before the Southampton game in a couple of weeks' time or not, I think if he is to sign before then, he will obviously, like I said, no doubtedly slot into that midfield too, alongside whoever it is going to be on the day. Now, having listened to manager Carlos Tevez's comments on Portilla, it seems like a deal is being worked on behind the scenes and Portilla's head is sort of swaying towards coming into Wrexham. Tevez said, "Since I arrived, I feel Portilla's head is elsewhere. If they want to be here, they're welcome. If they're not, they're out. So Tevez isn't messing around, and I think if Portilla reads those words, then I think it's going to possibly push the transfer even further, because I think it's clear to see Portilla doesn't want to work under Tevez. I don't think Tevez wants a player like him in the dressing room. Again, as a Wrexham fan in this situation, what do you really think of that? Do you think it's sort of a slight attitude problem that we should be wary of? But again, we're not complaining. If he's favouring a move to Wrexham over an Argentinian side in the top division where he's playing against Boca Juniors, River Plate in the seasons, then yeah, I don't think we can really be complaining. If we get him tied down for 3-4 years to come, then I don't think we can really have much complaints on this. Portilla missed the last game due to personal situations, and I think this all points towards a deal is being worked on behind the scenes. It's obviously going to take a bit of time to get it across the line, work permits, etc. But again, if the right price is struck between two sides, I think we can expect to see Portilla in a Wrexham shirt in the coming weeks. So again, it's a signing that I think we should all be really excited about. We're going in for a player in an international market for the second time this summer. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below, because like I said, it could be a really good bit of business, and one that again could pay off in 2-3 years to come. And could he be that midfielder that could lead us to the Premier League and bring that quality in that I think we've already got in this squad? But if we can improve on that even further and add so much more competition to the midfielders that are already in this squad, it's going to be a bonus either way. And I talked about it on yesterday's video with the situation regarding Jacob Mendy. Parky has confirmed that a move for Jacob Mendy is being worked on between a few different clubs. He's going to leave Wrexham Football Club on loan this summer, but it's still unconfirmed who he will leave to, whether it's a League One side or League Two side, we really don't know, but I think it's nailed on, and Parky has confirmed it himself that Mendy's going to leave the club this summer.
Work to do. I don't think we're where we need to be yet. So yeah, we're working on several other situations. We've just finished training now. We're going to catch up as a staff and you know, to just go through our next kind of deal. We want to kind of push towards getting over the line. But like our supporters know, that the landscape changes in the transfer market very quickly from one week to the next, and we're looking at lots of options here and abroad. Yeah, of course, ideally we'd like to make a couple more additions. Is that going to happen before the start of the season? It's difficult to say.
So yeah, that is it for today's video. A lot to talk about. A lot is going to happen at the football club over the next coming weeks, so you do not want to miss it. Like I said, everything's coming your way. Relevant transfer news, confirmed signings is on this channel, so make sure to click the notification so you can be first whenever these videos do come out. Make sure to do all that good stuff, like, comment, subscribe, like I said, and until the next video, take care guys, up the town.